So we've got our background pretty much in place here. Quite like the effect that we've got. Again, we go back in later on and adjust this if we like. Just move it down so you can see more of the horse there. There we go. So I'm just going to go back in here first of all. I just want to get our outline back in there again. I'm just using a Polychromo here just to pop back in our... I can still see it there, I just don't want to lose it underneath our pastel. Just the rough edge of that mane again. So it's just so we've got it there in place. And pop in some of our other lines again now. So I've got my glassine under my hand all the time here. And to be honest, just by popping this outline in again, it gives us a nice, say, shape to work to, an area to fill in. Mark in some of the other lines as well. Okay, and then we're pretty much good to go. And even still at this point, I'm thinking about what you guys have asked for with the tutorial. I know some of you asked for a watercolour underpainting, some of you asked for dry pencil, but I'm just thinking I've just done the Snow Leopard, which was all dry pencil. So I think, to be honest, I'm going to go in with this one with a watercolour pencil underpainting, and then I have got another horse lined up which I'm going to do with just pure pencil. But to be honest, I'll talk you through, you can still follow this with pure pencil. You just miss out. You just start off basically with your first layers you put down with your dry pencil. You don't add water, you just carry on building up the layers. See, I'm still... do I don't? I know I want to go in with the watercolour pencil underpainting with this one. That's my initial response to it, so I'm going to stick with my gut feeling. But like I say, I will make sure I give instructions as I go along that you can do it with pure pencil. It's pretty much the same method. So let's go with it. So I'm going to get my pencils ready now, and then the next stage we will come in and... Actually, I'm going to do the eye first of all, tell of Porky. Let's get the eye done. And I'll be doing that in Polychromos. And then I'll come in with the watercolour pencil underpainting. So let's get going on the eye first of all. Okay, so we're going to start on our eye now. I've zoomed right in for you. Now, because we used our indentation method early on, laying down our line drawing, what I can do now is go in with one of our darker colours. So I'm going to go in with the dark indigo here. And if I just lightly, it's going to annoy me, I'll just put it upside down so it's curling under, that's better. So if I go in here with this dark indigo, and just lightly rub it over this eye area, it'll instantly pull up all of our guidelines. So that was like when I was pressing in really hard before, this then gives you our line drawing, but obviously it's impressed, sort of in negative. Okay, zoom back out. Okay, see there? Take it back in again. So as always, first thing I do is usually pop in the highlight, and then I'll pop in the darker outline. So here we've got our highlight up on this top edge. That's the sky reflecting. He's in a stable, head hanging over the door. But then there is also a reflection from below coming across his pupil. This is just the first layer. If you've done the eye videos, you'll know that you go over these layers many times. So again, my eyes are flicking constantly, even though I've got these guidelines here. My eyes are flicking constantly back over. See that reference image? Okay. So now I'm going to go in underneath and pop in our darkest shadow. Using black first of all, I will go in there with some dark indigo as well. One thing I am going to do before I go any further is I can see there are some lashes there. Just want to impress those in so I don't lose those lines completely. across the bottom of that highlight and a shape within. And all you do, literally flicking those eyes backwards and forwards to that reference photo. You should be used to me saying this by now. Take a tiny bit more of that dark indigo that we had at the beginning. Just want to I'm just adding a little bit more touch of that dark indigo up around that corner, just so we see those lines a little bit clearer. Remember what I said at the beginning when we were laying our line drawing down. This is what helps create the expression. There we go. So now what I want to do is just fill in that space in the eye, and then we'll just work over the top. We'll keep building the layers. So I just want to fill that space first of all. So I'm going to go in now with some beautiful blues and purples, believe it or not, around the top of you'll have the I'll pop the reference up in the corner here so you can see it on screen, but some lovely purples in through here. See there, those lines that I impressed in just now. So I'm using my mauve. We'll probably use the mauve through the fur later, the hair, sorry. Get horse's hair, dog fur. So literally really light pressure, sort of like about a 3 pressure. If you make sure you've done that pressure test before you start. The most common question I get asked in tutorials, how much pressure are you using? But at the start of every single tutorial I say make sure you do your pressure test, and then you'll understand when I say pressure 3, you'll understand what my pressure 3 is, and hopefully you'll be adjusting yours accordingly. Okay, so I've got my Indanthrene blue. You'll also notice as well now when I do my eyes, if you've done any of the tutorials, you'll start to notice that I use the same pencils, very similar range of pencils for all of them. There's a couple of different ones going in here, but pretty much we use the same ones for all of our eye work. So like the snow leopards and any of the cats with the greeny eyes have a lot of that earth green colours glazing over. These warm greys will have terracotta, burnt ochre, and the caput mortems, Indanthrene blue, indigo blue. So this one here I've got this is the burnt ochre going in here now. Just want to fill up the space below. I'm just using basic scumbling technique here just to fill the space. And scumbling is just that circular motions of the pencil just to lay the pigment down. So touch of caput mortem now. eyes are constantly flicking backwards and forwards to the reference. Popping in the colour where I can see it. Light pressure, building gently. I know with the Pastelmat I can keep going back in and building the layers. Some of the dark indigo around the bottom here. So even though I put that black down underneath, I'm just going to soften it now with the caput mortem and my dark indigo. The pencil stays on the paper as I'm working. I don't tend to lift it off apart from to move it to a new area. And I just tweak the pressure as I go. So if it's not laying down as much as I want, I just up the pressure a tiny little bit. Horse's eyes are much less markings than obviously if you did the cat tutorial. We had so many layers building up, and obviously with the cat tutorial we did it a lot bigger as well. Do you know, as I'm working this now, I'm starting to think, do I do the whole thing with just tri-pencil after all? It's starting to feel really nice actually, just working it this way, so maybe okay. Zoom out a tiny bit. There we go. Now, even though this is sort of a brown eye, I can see a little bits of green in there. I'm going to pull in now some of my other colours. I know I was missing one key colour in there, which is my cream, which I do use to glaze over some of the brownish areas, and we use a warmish grey as well to glaze over some of the lighter areas that aren't quite white at the top. They're actually, they might use this at the bottom instead of the cream. Let's just see how we go. So I'm just going to use this. This is warm grey 2 here. I'm just going to use this across this top edge here. Just to give us that outline back. I'm working on Pastelmat. I know I repeat myself a lot, but for some people this might be the first tutorial they're stepping in on, so I won't be repeating myself to them. But say with the Pastelmat, you just have to have confidence in it, and as your confidence builds in your materials that you're using, then you'll be able to find you're working much more in a natural flow as well, because you'll have trust that you can go in later. It doesn't matter how many of these layers you put on, you can go back in there with darks or with your mid-tone colours, and you know that they're going to go down over the top. But to start with, you might not have the confidence that it's going to happen, but once you've done this 2 or 3 times, I am going to use this underneath rather than my cream, you know. You'll have the confidence that you can carry on building these layers. Okay, so now do I need the terracotta? Or is my ochre going to be enough? Let's pop our ochre back in. No, need terracotta. Oops. So this eye, obviously it's zoomed in larger on your screen than it's about 1 inch across from corner to corner. So that's the size of the space that I'm working here. The more time you can spend on this, the more detail you can get in, more realistic the eye is going to look. So it's just about taking your time. To be honest, I'll say to be more experienced with using the Pastelmat as well, doing fur, doing anything on it, if you, starting out, think that you've got enough layers on, or you've finished the eye, I'd advise you go back in and just do one more sweep, because that is the key problem I see with people, is they don't put enough layers down, they stop too soon, and then they get a little bit frustrated that it doesn't look quite the same as the image that they're following, tutorial, or they've seen someone else's drawing of an eye or fur or dog, anything, and they just get frustrated that this doesn't look the same. That's because they haven't pushed. That's the thing with the workshops as well. I push people, keep pushing those tonal values, keep pushing those dark shadows, keep lifting those colours, keep building the layers. They gradually, you know, they understand. By the end of a weekend, they understand and they can see, and I get them to line, obviously in workshops I get people to line up their drawings next to each other's as well throughout the day, and then they can go, oh, yeah, they can just see for themselves then, of like, oh, that person's looks really more 3D than mine, or it's, yeah, the values are so much stronger, and then they know they can go away, they're not quite so scared then, because they can see the person next to them has pushed their values, and it's worked, they haven't trashed their piece. It's still fine, in fact, you know, it looks fantastic, so then it gives them the confidence to go and push their own values on their own piece. Okay, I'm just going to go over that light area. I can go back in again then with my white over the top. I haven't used my brown yet. I'm going to actually bring in, I've got burnt umber here. Blah, get my words out. Burnt umber. I need to go and put that highlight back in again in a second. And the highlight around here I've lost a little bit, so I just need to put that back in. Back in my white here. I might pull in my Pablo in a second. I often pull in my Pablo whites just to really make those highlights pop. It's not going too bad at the moment, this white. I haven't drawn this little white area underneath quite as big as it is in seeming to be, mainly because it's reflecting something below that I'm not sure what it is it's reflecting, so I'm going to use my warm grey over this side. See how dark it is there, but I'm popping in a light over the top. Glaze over this area again. Tiny little blue. There we go. Push it up. Some more of that purple. Move. Mauve. I did initially have out, I've got a feeling there's a little touch of green reflection coming up underneath there as well, so I am going to pop that in. So I'm just using my pine green there. Again, only pop it in if you can see it. I just happen to see it on my screen, but your screen might depict it slightly differently. Touch more of my dark indigo. And some more of my Caput Morton. Back over with my original burnt ochre now. And I've dropped a pencil. Strengthening up that outside edge again now. Okay, starting to see this is coming together now. I'll just sharpen up my pencil. Take a quick look and see which one it was I dropped as well. Okay, so a little bit more touch of the terracotta going back in there. Just some little tabs going in across there. Sharpen up my light grey as well. sharpening that highlight there. So again here, you wouldn't put this down to pure white. We did at the beginning, then we popped some indigo over the top. A touch of grey. And you just build each layer that you put down with it a little bit softer and smoother. Been too rough at the beginning just to leave it as one layer. And I'd say my eye is not exactly the same as the one in the picture. Pretty close, gives that impression. Just need a tiny bit more dark in there. Here. And you'll see we've lost some of our lovely mauve that was in there at the beginning. So I'm going to pop a little bit more of that back in. Maybe it was a purple sky that day. thinking more and more now that maybe we will do this in dry pencils, you know. It's feeling good. So let's move up there in that fold of that eye as well. And I think we are going to leave the eye there for now. We'll come back and work it a little bit more.